Hey y'all, it's Kim from Kim Dixon Creative. I'm here today with a quick little project that I had to put together yesterday morning when I woke up and realized, hey, you've got a graduation party to go to and you don't have any graduation cards. So that's what this is. It's all of it is using supplies from my stash. So just kind of hang on and I'll let you know what I'm doing. And if the products are still available, I'll link them in the description box below. So the only new thing, and it's only new to me, it's I bought it used that I'm using today is a mink machine. I have wanted one for some time, and I found one for sale that was gently used, and I picked it up. So I don't have any sentiments that are that were what I was looking for. So I had some ephemera that I had left over from an old card kit from Not Too Shabby from New Year's of this year. And I wanted to use that, and I wanted it to say, congratulations, class of 2023. So I just, on my laser printer, printed out the words congratulations and then 2023. And if you're wondering, I'm using the font for congratulations is called Cheque, Cheque, and then Copperplate Gothic for class of. And I'm going to do some foiling. And I have used a toner printer to print that out. It has to be toner printer, can't be inkjet. And I'm going to place this heat reactive foil and run it through the mink machine. And I have to say, I'm happy that I got that mink machine. It turned out fantastic. There was a couple of things I forgot to do. You're supposed to dust everything off before you run it through, but thankfully there were no skipped places. I'll try to remember that next time. But as I very gently pull that up to make sure that everything is foiled, and it was stunning. I was so excited. You see me clapping my hands. Yay, it worked. Because I've tried with a laminator and I got iffy results. So I'm going to take this piece of black, it's a piece of 12 by 12 from my stash. Honestly, don't know where it came from. Don't know. There's no telling where it came from. So I'm just going to cut this piece of black down to 3 3/4 by 5. So I want that to be bordered. You see that gold glitter paper over there to the right. I'm going to have that behind and mat this black piece of paper. So I'm going to cut the black, again, is cut 3 3/4 by 5, and then I'm going to cut the gold glitter down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then obviously I'm going to have an A2 card, so it's going to end up being, my card is going to end up being 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I have my mats cut, and you see I've got some pattern paper over to the left. That was also in that kit that I got from Not Too Shabby. I did look. I don't see any of those elements available in the shop. So, if you were lucky enough to get this kit and still have some left, it makes for pretty good graduation gifts cards as well. So I was really pleased. So I decided I'm going to cut my pattern paper into an oval. I just want to use, and I wasn't sure which piece of that ephemera I was going to use. Actually, I wanted to use the 2023 with the black background, but you'll see in a minute that I don't end up using that. But these are some dies. They're from Cottage Cuts. They're stitched oval dies. If I can find them somewhere, I will link them. I have had them for quite a while. But I decided that's how I wanted the front of the card to look. And just kind of trying to figure out, I truly am flying by the seat of my pants. I had no plan when I sat down. I grabbed some things and just kind of went to cutting and pasting. That's all I did. But I decided that I'm going to make a landscape A2 card so that I can get my greeting, the word congratulations in there like I want it. So I'm going to attempt to cut these strips down using this guillotine trimmer. I end up going to my Dress My Craft trimmer. I'm just I'm not that great at getting these straight when I'm using this guillotine trimmer. Even though I started out with a straight edge up there, I think because it's so small, it's easy for it to move. So I end up just actually cutting those apart, trying to figure out how to cut those apart the best way I can. And I end up going with my Dress My Craft trimmer here in just a second. Um, I can just see better where I'm cutting, and I feel a little bit better about it. And it was early morning, so you can see I'm not even on the right side of the blade. So I realized my error and move it over. And so once I get it straight, I tape it in place with a piece of mint tape, and then that way it doesn't shift on me, and I don't have to try to hold it. And I just flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side as well. And I got it as straight as I could. I was fairly pleased with it at that point. And I'm afraid that I'm going to scratch off the foil when I try to get that tape. So I've pulled my little, that's a little vinyl pick that I have, but just to kind of pick that up and get it started so I can pull that tape off. And I was lucky that I didn't lose any of my foil. So on this particular banner, I want to have the fishtail ends. So everybody knows, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you the easiest way to do that is to cut down the center of your strip, and then from edge to the tip of where you stopped cutting is how you get that done. And that's the easiest way to do the fishtail banners on the ends. Now I'm going to trim down this one that says class of. I'm going to pull another piece of mint tape in and get my little sentiment trimmed up. I'm always scared to death I'm going to cut too close. But I knew if I did, I could just redo it because I have plenty of that foil and I have plenty of white cardstock and plenty of toner in my printer. And I think I am a little close here and realize it, or at least I get nervous about it, and so I move it a little bit. I'd rather have to cut again than I had start over. Because I was on a time crunch. This was an hour before I was supposed to be getting in the shower to go. So it's like, Kimmy, you're just kind of cutting it a little close here, aren't you? But I work best on a deadline. Everybody knows that. I'm not great at time management when it comes to stuff like this. But I'm just going to angle cut that one end and cut the other end straight. So I'm just going to lay my pieces out, and that's when I realized, nope, that's not going to work. This looks much better, much, much better. So that's how I want it to lay out. And so I'm going to go and get my foam tape ready because it's my card and there's going to be foam tape. I mean, everybody knows that. If you've watched a video of mine, there's going to be foam tape. So I'm getting my trusty art glitter glue out, and of course it's stopped up, so I'm going to have to plunge it with my pen to get it started. And but I still wouldn't trade my trusty art glitter glue for any other glue out there. But just put a little glue on there. I did put just a tad bit more, not that much, but just a tad bit more just because it's going onto this glitter cardstock. It's still not as much as it looks like on camera. It looked like I put a really thick bead there, but I did not. So then I'm going to glue my circle flat down on my card panel. And I get him a little crooked to start with, and thankfully I'm using wet glue because I can move him. Now, that's much better. So I'm going to pull out, I'm just going to lay these out and make sure this is how I want it to look. And I know it is, but I'm going to check it just to make sure one last time before moving on. I was afraid after I foiled that sentiment that I wouldn't like it on white cardstock, but I do. So I'm going to pull out one of my new little tools that I've got, and this is my mini laser level or mini laser square from We Are Memory Keepers. They've been out for a while, but it's new to me. And I decided I'm going to get my middle sentiment set up first. So I get it to the middle, but then realize, no, you need to move down a little bit because it's not going to be, the bottom of it's not going to be in the middle. The bottom's going to be a little bit lower than that. So I've got my foam tape and going to cut it and just get that on the back of that sentiment. Class of will be the one in the middle. And for some reason, that sticky tape was not sticky. Something must have gotten on it. I may have had something on my hands when I first put it on. I end up having to use a little bit of wet glue on it, but that's okay too. I know it's stuck. And then I use a little bit of wet glue on the back of it as well once I stick it down to my card. See, it's lifting right there. So I'm going to end up coming in and pulling that back and just running a little bead of glue right there to make sure that everything works well. Just going to hold it down with my craft pick there for a little bit. And I'm just to make sure in case that actual side is not sticky as well, put a little bit of glue on the back of it. And so I think this laser level is actually helping me when it comes to stuff like this, getting it a little more level. At least I feel like it is, and so that's good. And I've enjoyed it. I'll link it in the description box below. You can get these most anywhere. I've seen them online at Walmart. I've seen them online. Amazon has them. And I'm pretty sure that scrapbook.com has them. So I'll link those down below. And you'll, if you want to get one. So I'm just chopping up my foam tape so that my little numbers they have good coverage there. I don't want them to, I'm not mailing this card, I'm handing it, but I still don't want any of the corners to bend while it's in the envelope before I give it to my recipient. We were very honored to be invited to a party of this young man in our church that graduated, and he is a phenomenal, phenomenal guy. And we're very proud of him and are looking forward to what the Lord is going to do in his life. And so we were excited to get to go celebrate with him and with his family. So wanted to make sure that he had a special card. I didn't want to just go get a generic card from the grocery store. I could have. And there's nothing wrong with those cards either. Those are good too. But I wanted him to have something that was specifically from Todd and me. And that really really showed him how much we think of him and how proud we are of him. So I'm going to come in with my laser level and my tweezers and just gently lay that down. And because you can always move it if you don't press it down, but I had it where I wanted it then. And now I'm going to put foam tape on the back of my last greeting strip, and we'll be done with the card base. Just pull that release paper off there. Cut my nails so I don't have anything to hold on to that with, so I had to use something. And I end up scooting that down just a little bit, and the laser comes right below the words, or the letters. And I think it turned out really good. So now I've got another piece of black cardstock. I'm going to cut an A2 card base. It's going to be cut 4 1/4 by 11. This is a kind of an odd paper. It's not 8.5 by 11. It's actually 8 by 11.5. And so it's some Sizzix paper. And if it's still in stock where I got it, I will link it in the description box because it's some really great cardstock. It typically comes with a variety of different colors in the pack. And this was kind of like a holiday pack. It had reds and greens, and it also had this black in it, and I really like it. It's kind of textured. It has kind of a linen feel to it. It's not as heavy as what I typically use for my card bases when I'm making just white card bases, but because it's colored, I'm going to end up putting a panel on the inside, so that's going to thicken that up. The front has the card base on, or the card panel on the front, so it turns out okay. And it's really hard to see this black on this black mat. So I was trying to be very careful. So here's where I'm going to take a scrap of white that I have. This was the other side of the piece of paper that I printed on for my greeting that I foiled. And I'm just going to cut it to 4 by 5 1/4 to go on the inside of my card, so that when I write my little note on the inside, I can just use a regular pen. I don't have to use a special pen or anything, because I have a love-hate relationship with white gel pens. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So I didn't want to have to use that white pen for the inside of my card. And again, I wanted to make the card a little more sturdy as well. So I got that panel in there. And now I want to stamp my logo on the back of my card. And I'm going to use Brutus Monroe's Alabaster ink. Now this is a pigment ink, and that stamp pad is very spongy. So you want to just very lightly tap, 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 tap your stamp on this stamp pad, or else it's going to get all squished up inside your stamp. And so you just very gently tap on it to get that ink on that stamp. So this is my card. I think it turned out great. I was honored to be able to give it to Noah yesterday, and honored to get to spend some time with Noah and his family and getting to know some more of his family. I hope you enjoyed the card that I made today. I hope it inspires you. I hope you go out and make something today yourself. Thank you for being a part of this amazing community. It's an absolute joy sharing my passion for paper crafting with all of you. Joining our YouTube community is easy. Simply click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay updated with the latest videos. Don't forget to engage with the content by liking, sharing, and leaving comments. Your participation makes this channel thrive and grow. Please remember this. Our God is a creative God. He created us in His image, which makes us creative as well. We are all creative in one way or another. Step out in the world today and let your imagination soar. Embrace the limitless possibilities out there and create something extraordinary. Anything your heart desires. I love you and can't wait to see you again in the next video. Bye.